The following is a Joel Michalec production.
The following episode has been recorded in front of a live studio audience, which included 2 cats, 5 Barbie dolls, 1 miniature schnauzer, and 8 tiny reindeer.
I am Groot.
Uh-huh.
I'm Groot.
No!
I am Groot!
That's a really bad sign.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Joel Michalec Show featuring the Lovely Sharen. Welcome into our studio and across the internet, and say hello over there to the Lovely Sharen.
Oh, I can talk now?
Why do you say that every week? Every week you say that.
Because you said I can't talk right away.
No, that's not correct. What I said was, when I introduced the show, which includes your name,
right. Well,
you took that as your jump-in point, and
Yes.
I needed a little bit of separation, so it worked as the title.
Yes, but when I hear my name, I'm like, yay! Because somebody cares enough to say it.
Okay, so welcome to the program. We're glad to have you here. Get some business out of the way, and then we can chat. The website is www.jmtalk.net, and you can subscribe to the program, which is on all major podcast carriers. You can also listen to the 24/7 stream, read the blog, look at the news, and also link up to our YouTube channel. So that's how you do that. Now on social media, very easy to find us on Facebook at JM Talk, and on Twitter and Instagram at JM Talk Radio. So at the time of this podcast, we will be, at the time of this podcast dropping, we're 8 days from the premiere of Christmas with Joel and Sharen, our annual Christmas show.
Yes.
And so, I mean, assuming on, because we're still waiting for some networks to get back to us with the dates and times, but I think the first network in is going to be the 23rd. If that changes, of course, that's why you pay attention to us on social media, because we'll make sure as soon as we get the schedule all firmed up, we will get it to you. So follow us on social media because, barring anything else, and that also reminds me, there will not be a regular podcast drop next weekend because the next weekend is the holiday weekend, and the Christmas show will be premiering.
Right. Exactly.
On multiple stations. We'll get you that information as well. So there won't be a regular drop next week. And now one more thing that I have to stress, and then we'll get to the fun, Lovely Sharen. I have to stress that the Christmas program is not available as a podcast drop. And that's because as a podcast, we're not a licensed station for like the Christmas music we play. The reason it goes on live stations is because they're licensed to play the music. We as a podcast are not. So you cannot find the Christmas show by coming to the website and expecting the drop next week. You're going to have to check out social media and find out where we tell you to go to listen to the show. We'll be in a lot of places on the internet, and lots of opportunities. So look for that information and make sure you catch the show when it airs, because it's a great show this year.
It will be.
As it always is. So
yes.
No regular drop next weekend. So here we are. So effectively, this is our last show our last regular show before Christmas, because we won't talk about all the different things. When it comes next week to the Christmas show, it's all Christmas.
Right.
I mean, I feel like it's been all Christmas up to this point because we have plenty of Christmas type fodder to talk about.
As we usually do every season.
As we usually do. That is absolutely correct. So anyway, moving forward. I told you last week that I wanted to talk to you about Verizon.
It's a wonderful thing that your memory is much better than mine.
Even though you complain about my memory, and I don't believe it. I don't believe it.
You have selective memory loss.
No, I do not, and I have no recollection of what you just said.
See?
Now,
that's what I'm saying.
So moving on. I told you I wanted to talk to you about Verizon. And we were talking about, I think, high bills, and you were like, oh, here we go, because I do complain about how high the bill is.
Right.
And one of the reasons it's so high, well, actually, I don't really know all the reasons. We have the triple play. Now, we need a phone line for the alarm system.
Yes.
So we have to have that landline.
I don't know of very many people these days that have landlines.
Right. But we don't really have a landline either. I mean, the landline comes straight in and straight into the control panel.
Right.
Like a couple years ago, you'll recall, I disconnected all the jacks in the house because I found the phone company's rat's nest underneath the house.
Right.
How they tied this all together.
Which, if you recall, somehow our phone lines were dialing 911.
Yes.
Do you remember that?
Yes, I remember police showing up all hours
of the day or night. Or in the wee hours of the AM hours.
And we talked to the phone company. We talked to our security company. No one's ever heard of such a thing.
I know. It was like our house was haunted.
The one time
calling 911 for help.
Right. The one time we invited the police in. And we showed them every single phone jack in the house, which had nothing connected to it because we only had. So then what happened was, since you took us on this tangent, what happened was, so I went outside and I was trying to eliminate noise because I'm as a technology person, I do have it's called a phone pack. So I was able to hear the noise online. So I went searching for that problem. So we live in a modular home. So I'm underneath, and as soon as I take like the skirting down, I see that it's like a ball, but not. It's like this giant wad of tape. And when I say giant, I'm holding my hands out. It's like 2 feet by 2 feet. Big wad of like Scotch tape, electrical tape, just a big wad. And I'm looking at that because there are 5 wires going into it. There's like 4 wires going into the one side and then one coming out the other side. This was the splice that took one line and converted it to every single jack in his house. I don't know who, when, where, or why.
Goodness, they
did such a thing, but they did.
Well, somebody was obviously stoned when they did it.
So I was so aggravated. What I did is I cut the. I traced and cut out the one that was going actually to the kitchen because I took the kitchen. Remember, I took the kitchen jack apart and I found out that they spliced the kitchen jack to service the kitchen phone and then go to the control panel for the alarm. And I was like, this is ridiculous.
Yeah.
So out back, I saved the kitchen line and tested it. Had no noise on it when I took it out of that mess independently. Yeah. So then I spliced it properly into new Cat 5, and I ran a new Cat 5 straight to the phone, the it's called a network interface device.
Yeah.
And we haven't had a problem ever since. Now, if we ever sell this house and somebody wants to put landlines in,
they're SOL.
They're bad. They got some work to do.
Right?
Because we left them high and dry. So anyway.
Yeah, the police, oh my God, I remember. Every time the police came out, they thought that we were smoking something.
Yeah.
Because there were 911 hang-ups. It was insane.
It was.
And they were getting ready to charge us.
Yeah. So I'm glad I found that on the one side, and on the flip side, it was crazy, but at least we found it and got it eliminated. So we have a landline for that purpose only. And then we have the internet, and then we have the cable. Now we have almost every movie package out there, except the adult movie channel. And even when we try to eliminate that, it's not a big cost savings. So I really don't know where the expense in this bill lies, but I have spoken to enough people, and I read enough on Reddit and other sites like that to know that everybody has the same general complaint about how high the bills are.
Right.
Now, the other thing, the real thing I wanted to address with the Verizon bill being so high is all these services that are offering streaming. Now, we personally have in our family, and I say that because we don't have these services, we have them collectively. All of our family members sort of pay for stuff. But we have Netflix, Hulu, Amazon Prime,
Disney,
and I think we have one more, right? Amazon, Netflix, Hulu. No, Amazon, Disney. I thought we had another one. Of course, I also use things like Crackle and Tubi, and they're free services that you can watch movies on.
What?
Yeah. So
I think someone's a little crackle in his head.
And then there are some services that cater to just horror. Okay. There are services that cater to just children. There are more out there than just what I'm talking about.
Okay.
And so my whole thing, the reason we've been off on this like 7-minute tangent here is because I just want to say it's ridiculous that we have shifted from having cable to where we're having all these services. Now, a lot of people do the smart thing. I've actually been begging you to do it for a long time, but you won't, is we could probably cut the internet or the cable part down because a lot of the services that we have live TV too. So, and if not, there are other services that do live TV. So you get your news, you get your baseball and football games, you get that stuff. But what is going on here? Because these companies, I don't know, unless the American consumer is really that stupid. I don't know how long they can go duping us into believing that we're going to buy into cable or not buy into cable, and then we're just going to keep adding these services to the portfolio. You look at Disney. Disney is monopolized. If you don't have Disney, you will not find Star Wars, a lot of Disney stuff, Marvel on any other streaming network.
Right.
And that's part of where my problem comes in, Sharon, because they're saying you need us. If you're a Marvel fan, and there's a lot of Marvel fans, now you need to get us or buy DVDs. And who's really buying DVDs anymore with the advent of streaming and digital media?
Right, exactly.
We watched a Christmas movie last night, and it's on our digital drive.
Right.
So when you think about that, you're saying you're a Marvel fan, you're a Disney fan, you have kids, and you want the Disney library. Are you going to buy DVDs that will be extinct soon? Or are you going to come buy our streaming service?
Where we pull out of the vault, different movies where we can say, you know what, this one comes out and this one goes back in the vault.
Right.
So
there's something really scary and weird about how it's all turned into digital streaming. Now, the other point I want to make about going back to Verizon is, what have we noticed for months now? What are we always saying? When we cruise,
my God, there is nothing on.
We have like 70 movie channels, and there's what have we been watching mostly the last 2 weeks? MeTV, Antenna TV. We're watching the old shows.
Right, because there's
nothing
really nothing on
the
movies. The movie channels, they put the same old stupid movies on.
And I think the reason is because when you have things like Disney, who's monopolizing the Disney and the Marvel and the Star Wars, now your rights as a cable provider, you don't have the rights to air them anymore. In fact, you'll never, I think once as a special treat for a weekend, Stars had Star Wars.
Right.
But generally speaking, you're not getting Star Wars digitally unless you're going to be on Disney.
Right.
And that I see as a major problem. And it's also why we can't find it, because it's not, they're airing the same stuff over and over again because they can't get rights to a lot of stuff.
Right.
And another thing that all the cable movie channels are doing is original programming. And now the streaming services are doing original programming.
I know. And I have to say, Netflix had to do something because they were losing
a lot of
viewership.
Rights. Oh, yeah.
Big time. So they came up with this grand idea of doing Netflix original movies
and shows. And now everyone's doing it.
Right, exactly. And I am one who loves a lot of the Netflix original shows.
Yeah. In The Crown.
The Crown.
Is it The Crown or is it The Crayons? I forget which one you
it's
watch.
well, it depends on my mood. That's
But because I see the Verizon bill and I'm like, what really are we paying for?
Right.
On that, like, I really don't know. Like, I think you tried to cut the movie channels and they were like, well, if you cut them, it's gonna drop like $26 to cut all of them. Oh, you want to add HBO back in? Well, that'll be like $65.
Right. I know, right?
So
you cut it, but then when you try and add on one individual channel, then
it's like
they
twice
triple the cost of that channel. So it's not as enticing anymore to cut the movie package.
Yeah, well,
because they make their money on the movie package.
And not only that, what really pisses me off is, like, we've been with Verizon, I'm trying to think, 19 years?
No. Well,
all said and told?
Yeah, but then there was that time that you switched us to Comcast without
That's a funny story for another time. That's a funny story for another time.
Yeah.
Without telling you, you mean like when I come home and there's an alternative energy company in our house?
Oh wait, no,
waiting for my
we're not
signature?
talking about that. We're talking about cable.
So, see, now you made me lose my train of thought there. Okay, so all said and told, let's say 19 years we've been with Verizon Fios.
Right.
And what really gets my goad is people who sign up for Verizon tomorrow are getting like triple play, 1 gigabit internet speed, and they're paying like $119 a month for 2 years.
Right.
And we pay like over $300.
No.
So,
not after that initial.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry. $280.
Not after that initial $1,000 setup fee. And
so.
Oh, my God. That was ridiculous.
So it's like.
And now we're stuck for 2 years.
Thanks for being a loyal customer. I'm gonna screw you and offer a great deal to somebody who's just coming on board.
Yeah.
Even though you've been with us forever.
Exactly.
That's what really pisses me off about it. You know?
I know. It's
nobody, and this goes back to. I feel like what we're talking about is service. This goes right back to that service thing where I always say service is gone.
Yep.
In every industry imaginable, service is gone.
It is. It really is. It's a how much money can I get from you today?
Yeah. Exactly.
Service. And that's really, that's exactly what it is.
That is exactly what it is.
And I'm damn pissed about it. I am. And, you and I talk, and you may not think that it bothers me as much as it does, but every single month when I hit that pay now button.
I want a Verizon bill?
Oh, it really gets my ire going.
Well, I don't think that I don't think that there's any original content on any of the movie channels that we watch at all, which makes me believe that we could probably curtail that.
Yeah, but not for 2 years.
Really? They won't let you change that?
No.
And you got a new contract?
No, because I just.
I know you just did.
Oh my God, I'm a moron. Sometimes I really do think I'm.
Not to mention.
I'm like, wait, what?
Not to mention when they put the modem in, they didn't bury the Cat 6. They left it running across the yard.
I know.
Which you need to call about that.
Yeah, you do. It's in your name.
What?
Yeah.
All right. Anyway, moving on.
See, this is how we deal with things, people. You just witnessed us discussing our bills, and then when a bill is in his name, I completely revert it back to him when he says you got to call them. Oh no, honey, it's in your name.
All right, so I think let's put up on Facebook this weekend what other people have you cut the cord and are you happy? Because that's basically what they call it, cutting the cord. When you cut your cable services.
Oh, I know of quite a few people.
So do I.
Yeah.
But I want to see if we can entice some of the public to interact with us on Facebook. Have you cut the cord? Are you happy? We'll put it up there. In the meantime, we're going to take a break. When we come back, Sharon and I are going to discuss, because we didn't make the list, we're going to make the list live. We're going to discuss our favorite Christmas movies.
Ooh.
So don't go anywhere. We're coming right back after this.
This is New York's Super Oldie Station, 920 WON, The Apple, Brooklyn, New York.
So I use my computer every day. I'm not even sure how I get along without it. But I wasn't prepared for a virus. A Trojan, they called it. One night I'm cruising along, and the next night I can't do anything. I was afraid it was going to cost me a fortune. Boy, was I surprised. They had me back up and running the same day I called them. I really like PC Tech Rescue, and you know what? My wallet likes them too.
Are you troubled by computer problems? PC Tech Rescue should be your very next call. Whether the problem is viruses, hardware, software, or any other issue, they can diagnose your problem and have you back up and running fast. With more than 25 years of industry experience, you can be sure you are getting dependable and affordable service. Call today, 484-429-6061, or email us at pctechrescue@gmail.com.
Welcome back, folks, to the program. Thanks for joining us. We're back.
We're back.
I was working on an original Christmas song.
Okay.
And all I got so far is he's making a list, chicken and rice. It's like a Christmas shopping song. No?
Oh, no. Mm-mm.
All right, so if Chuck Barris was here, there'd be like a gigantic gong.
Very gigantic gong.
All right.
Yes.
He's making a list, chicken and rice.
No.
Going to find out if she used too much spice. No?
No.
I just came up with the third line. This is working.
No, but it doesn't sound right.
We can work this out.
No, we can't. No. A songwriter, you are not.
Listen, I'm going to rebut you on that a little bit because remember, I also wrote some lines to the original song about Molly. I mean, we take her for walks, especially in the fall when the squirrels are gathering the nuts and getting ready to, and it's like a big squirrel show. And I wrote some lyrics for She's a Squirrel Watcher based on the song She's a Girl Watcher, or I'm a Girl Watcher. So I would go down to the park with her and I would sing, I'm a squirrel watcher. I'm a squirrel watcher. No?
People.
I'm getting no love from you with my talents.
For me. I deal with this every single day.
I'm just saying. Right, Molly? See, Molly's happy.
Oh, my goodness.
All right. So,
okay.
Molly got her new Christmas sweater.
She did.
Yep.
And when
really
Daddy took her out today, what did he put on her?
I put on her checker sweater.
Old Christmas sweater.
I didn't think that was an old Christmas sweater.
Yes, it was.
No. I think it was just a cool weather sweater.
No, I remember who bought it.
Cool weather sweater.
I remember who bought it.
Do you have your reindeer boob sweater ready yet?
I do.
Okay.
That was supposed to be a surprise.
Okay, well,
and you ruined it.
I'll be very surprised when you're wearing it. So, all right, so we want to talk now. Obviously, you know, 'tis the season, and a lot of people like to watch Christmas movies. We started watching one here and there. Now, one of our daughters, was chomping at the bit, waiting for December 1st to watch The Muppet Christmas Carol.
Why would she have to wait until December 1st?
Because she didn't want to feel too crazy.
Wow.
Remember, she put a tree up in like early November or something like that. Maybe even late October, I forget.
Yeah.
Because she wanted to, because she comes home, she wanted to be able to, you know, she has never put a tree up.
True.
So she put one up and she wanted to put up early and have more time to enjoy that spirit, that feeling.
The Christmas spirit.
Yeah. So we want to talk about Christmas movies.
Yes.
I want to point out, I mean, we probably did this before, I'm not sure, but I want to point out that Sharon is trying to remain the only human being to never have seen It's a Wonderful Life.
Yes.
And I don't understand her, get with me, folks. I don't understand her thinking on this.
Okay.
Because it's
I've
such
never
a great
seen
movie.
it.
Right.
I have no interest in seeing it. Because I don't know.
That's not a reason.
It's a reason that I'm giving.
It's not a reason. You can't say, I don't want to see it. Why? Because I don't know.
Well,
because you're afraid of seeing an excellent classic?
No, because I want to remain the only soul in this universe that has not seen it.
All right, so what are your favorite Christmas movies? Or let's start with one.
All right, so
I know what one of them is.
Yes, but I have to say it's a group, and they're all Rankin Bass. Because that's what I was raised on.
Well, yeah, we were raised on them.
On Rankin Bass.
The millennials today have no idea.
None.
How
and
entertaining.
let's not talk about millennials.
Right.
But, yeah. So, Rankin Bass is my favorite selection of movies. And if no one knows what Rankin Bass is, just stand up against the wall so I can get the firing squad out.
I didn't know you liked them that much.
Oh, yeah, Rankin Bass. Absolutely.
I mean, I know we have them on DVD.
My absolute favorite is The Little Drummer Boy.
Right.
Yes.
Right.
And that's my absolute favorite song for Christmas.
I actually thought, based on the last couple of years, how you always open up your Christmas season with throwing in Jim Carrey's The Grinch.
And that is my favorite, yes, my favorite Grinch story.
So you like that better than the original cartoon?
Yeah, because, I mean, I don't know. I think Jim Carrey did a phenomenal job portraying the Grinch. However, I was raised on the cartoon version.
Right.
And I think it would be good to say that that wasn't my favorite movie growing up. And it wouldn't if Jim Carrey did not do that movie and that movie did not come out, I wouldn't not start my Christmas season out with that movie.
That you know, I mean, because you only know that Jim Carrey did it.
No. Well,
however, last week...
Look, we watched the newest one.
Yeah, we tried to watch the newest one. It was absolute trash.
Yeah, no, sorry. I'm sorry. I
even said...
I absolutely love the one that he did, and I have to start my Christmas seasons out ever since that came out in 2000. That's how I start my Christmas season now. I mean,
I like it. I mean, if I was going to start the Christmas season out, it would be the Santa Claus.
Yeah. I mean, that's our second.
Right.
And my second.
My first, your second, and the Grinch could be my second, although, But
I think
when the new
you
Grinch...
say that because I keep jamming it down your throat every Christmas season.
No, it's not even a problem. I think it's a great way to start off the holiday movie season by popping in the Grinch.
Yeah.
When the new one came out in theaters, I said right then, I'm not going to go see it because I don't see a reason to do another remake.
Right.
Just like this year they remade Black Christmas again. And I heard that's utter trash. Why do you do that?
I mean, they remade the Grinch as a cartoon when the original cartoon was just fine.
Right. Exactly.
And then you did, what's that called? Live animated, or what's it called?
I don't know what animation, I guess.
No, the one that Jim Carrey did. What is that called?
Oh, live action.
Live action.
Yeah.
Okay. And, you either have cartoon or live action, that's it.
Right.
Okay, so the cartoon was done back in the 60s, and that's fine. That's the cartoon version.
Right. And like I said, even with Black Christmas, I don't understand the remakes. It's almost like Hollywood has no ideas left. In fact, a riddle for you, while we're talking about Christmas movies. What has 15 actors, 4 settings, 2 writers, and 1 plot? I'll say that again. What has 15 actors, 4 settings, 2 writers, and 1 plot? Do you know what that is?
Yeah, the one with Scrooge.
No.
What?
632 Hallmark movies.
Oh, my God. Oh, my God.
I mean, Hallmark right now, the Hallmark Channel is doing nothing but Christmas movies. And seriously, I mean, I would not land on a Hallmark Channel to watch any of them.
Okay.
But
and
people
I agree
do.
with you. I agree with you. But I know someone who just stated on Friday that is their absolute favorite thing to watch at Christmas time. And, yeah.
I don't get it. But,
I don't.
So, okay. So, all right, Santa Claus is very high on my list. And as you just said, A Christmas Carol. And I have a lot of versions of that.
Yes.
Because that
you do.
That is all of my life. That is my most beloved story in literature, period. Let alone my favorite, Christmas story.
Really?
So I used to have the book, paperback. I read it every year. And then I don't know where we have it stored, but years ago, my sister got me a hardbound book with, leather-bound with 4 Charles Dickens stories in it, one of them being A Christmas Carol. It was a beautiful green leather-bound. It's stored somewhere. I'd like to find it.
Yeah.
Because that's the thing. What's missing is I have all these versions, but seriously, every year in December, I would, read the paperback. I would just, it's just such a great story. And so there have been some bad versions, and there's been some good versions. And one that I don't think it's a great version, but it's very well done, was the Disney version with Jim Carrey playing like 4 or 5 roles. That was animated. Yeah. And I think that was an okay retelling. That's part of me was like, another retelling? Why? But then at the same time, they did a nice job with it.
I really like that story as well. And I have to say,
if you say the Bill Murray version, I'm going to smack you.
Okay, so anyway, I think gingerbread men are awesome.
Were you really going to say the Bill Murray version?
I was.
Okay, well, that's your favorite
no, I didn't
iteration
say it was
of it.
my
That's
favorite.
fine.
No, I didn't say that.
All right, well, then finish your thought
I did
about
not
it.
say that was my favorite version. Okay? I, however, do like it immensely.
Okay, so favorite version, though, favorite telling for me would be the 1951 British version starring Alistair Sim. Now, what's interesting about this, a quick piece of trivia about this movie. It was actually a flop. It was a big flop when it came out in Britain. And then somewhere along the lines, British public television had purchased the rights to it. And they used to air it in marathon style when I was a kid on public television, so your PBS channels.
Yeah.
And then then they weren't doing so much marathons, years later, but it would become a staple at like 8 p.m. and midnight Christmas Eve.
Oh, wow.
And because of all that airplay on American public television, it became a cult classic. And it has become for a lot of people, I'm not going to say everybody because they have all these different versions. Like every 2 years a new version comes out. But it's become the quintessential version for most people.
Right.
And I haven't had it for a while. It was hard for me to acquire for one reason or another. But I have it now this year. I have a digital media version of it. And I intend to watch it this year.
Cool.
I'd like you to watch it with me if you've never seen it, because it really is a good telling of it that stays very true to the story, because a lot of times they're truncated for time.
Sure.
And I mean, not that this takes up a lot of time, but they don't steer
as
off.
As long as
it's not
it is not two things. It's a Wonderful Life and the Muppet version.
And the Muppet version is my second favorite version.
No.
And we're
Muppet
watching that because Katie is on my side.
The Muppet version needs to get burned.
No.
Yes.
No.
Yes.
You're already outvoted in this household.
Okay. Hold up. I don't think so. We
Molly
haven't asked the
likes it.
grandkids. We haven't asked Renee. We haven't asked Victor. Although Victor is probably going to side with you because,
right.
He's your buddy. And
Renee likes it. And Tara likes it.
No.
And Katie likes it. So you're overruled. Molly even likes it.
No. You cannot count animals. Because
Molly's
they
not
cannot,
an animal.
No.
She's a person. She's a people.
Right, but you cannot count her vote, because if you were to count her vote, it would be for Mommy.
Okay.
And you know that.
All right, so moving on. Other movies that we like, there's so there are a lot of classic ones. Okay, as you can tell from what I said about Hallmark, I'm not a fan of modern. I'm very tough with modern Christmas movies. Christmas Chronicles, that'll become a classic. That will become a classic.
Yes, that is our new favorite.
And since Disney's come out, we found a new one that could be an annual staple. Noelle.
Yes.
With
Yes, with what's her face, but
yeah, what's her face?
And my
Kendrick.
gosh, you made me lose my train of thought.
I'm sorry, I said Noelle.
No.
Okay.
I was thinking of another movie. I forget. Come on.
I'm sorry.
Don't do that to me.
So, all right. So some other ones that I would say are in our collection. Elf.
Yes.
Elf's another good one.
That is my second go-to.
Okay. I'm not very fond of Santa Claus 2 and 3. I'll watch Santa Claus 2 more so than I will 3.
Yeah, I have
3 is
to
just
agree
ridiculous.
with you. Yeah, 3 is just crazy.
And I thought in Santa Claus, I thought that was, he's one of the best best on-screen iterations of Santa Claus.
Yeah.
The way they did the makeup and everything was amazing. Okay. Well, on a DVR, we still have to watch Charlie Brown Christmas this week.
Yes.
Also, some other things in the entertainment world for the holidays this week. They're doing another live on TV. They're doing Wednesday night. ABC is doing another.
Spit it out, man.
Right. All in the Family. And not the Jeffersons this time. Good Times. And they're remaking a couple, a Christmas episode of each.
Oh, wow.
So remember last year they did?
Yeah.
So they're doing that again this year. It airs on Wednesday, live on prime time or whatever they call it.
Yeah.
So we have to DVR that. We have last year's DVR'd. On the 20th, CBS is going to air back-to-back 2 Christmas episodes of the I Love Lucy show.
I'm very excited about that.
And that's something I wanted to get to before we run out of time here is the old, one of the things that was great about old television, besides being old television because the shows were great, is they always had Christmas episodes.
Yes.
And they weren't repeats.
Right.
It wasn't the Hallmark Channel. Every year they'd have a new Christmas episode. I mean, and they were just well done. And there's just something about the nostalgic of the old Christmas television shows, Rankin Bass.
Yep.
Charlie Brown.
Yep.
Yeah.
What is it about the old, and I'm going to do air quotes, old time TV, and their telling of Christmas?
I don't know, but I think
know what it is?
It's the old time Christmas.
No, it's that they do not make it about the gifts.
Right, yeah.
They make it about the spirit of Christmas.
I read a great article about that this week.
Yeah. So I think that's why you and I probably join millions of other people who enjoy the Christmas season for the spirit of Christmas,
right,
rather than the giving of gifts.
Right. Yeah, because back in the day, nobody was open on Christmas. It was all family time, and it was about lights. Remember going out and seeing the lights?
Yeah, as a family.
Right.
Even grown teenage kids went out with their parents just to watch, to look at everybody's Christmas lights.
Yeah. And more people did it. Like, you could go down a block, an entire block,
yeah,
was decorated. And it wasn't like all the blow-up stuff. Like, everything is like, let me buy this and blow this up and put it on the lawn, and I'm done.
Yeah, exactly. No, it was about this year, and I know I've said it in previous shows, this year you made my holiday season by purchasing the large lights.
C9 bulbs.
Yeah, the C9 bulbs. And he put them up on our house.
And I'm going to do more next year.
And I'm very excited about that.
Yeah. Next year, we're going Clark W. Griswold.
No.
Which, before we get out of here for the break, I got to mention.
I wish there was a camera in the studio.
Christmas Vacation. And real quick thing before we go to break. So last night, I've been working like 18 hours a day the last couple of days. And last night, I'm working. Now, a lot of my work is remote. I do it right here in the dining room where the studio is.
Yep.
And so I'm real famous among our friends, if you don't know, friends and family. I'm real good with movie quotes and sound bites. And so
you'll hear the first couple notes of the music.
And I know what she's watching.
Starts out a movie. And he'll tell me what I'm watching.
So I'm sitting here doing my work. And, of course, you were on a kick last night, like 2 or 3 Christmas movies.
Yeah.
So I'm sitting here working, and she's like over there, and it's real quiet because she's scanning through all the, by the way, services we buy into, looking for something. She goes, this will do. And I mean, a half of a second into the first note, I turned to her, I was like, you son of a gun. No, you're not.
Those aren't the words you use.
You are not watching Christmas Vacation without me. So I had to listen to the movie.
I did.
From my work desk.
Yes.
So
I watched that cruel.
We will be watching that again, where I can put my eyes on it.
Right.
But okay, something else we should throw up this week on Facebook is let's find out what are your favorites.
Yeah,
I want to know because we're leading into the Christmas show next week.
I would like to know what your favorite movies are.
And although we won't discuss movies in detail on the Christmas show, I can give you a sneak peek and say there's something about movies we're doing on the Christmas show.
Okay.
Yeah. I'm sorry. I'm twisting my finger like you can all see. I'm doing just a little tiny something.
He's got his thumb and first finger touching, and he's twisting his wrist.
Right, because you don't sprinkle it.
Like he's imaginary sewing something.
No, I'm just saying just a little something.
Yeah.
About movies.
I was trying to give the audience a visual.
I wasn't doing this. You're gonna eat.
No, I was saying you were, twisting your wrist like you were sewing something. That's what. Oh gosh, never mind. I think I just ruined that.
No. It was actually quite perfect.
Okay.
As you are.
I know I am.
All right, so I guess you're taking off.
I am.
And I'll come back and with the final segment. So
you're saying a lot of ums.
Well, I think you should wish everybody a Merry Christmas because you won't see them again until the Christmas show.
I am going to wish everyone a very Merry Christmas and a happy and prosperous New Year.
Although we will be back for the last show of the year.
Yes.
I imagine.
We will, but, in case you have plans, the audience is the collective you out there have plans to go and see, family members and, want to turn your family members onto our podcast. That'd be wonderful.
There you go.
Awesome. Merry Christmas and Happy New Year.
All right, and I will be back for the final stretch right after this.
This message is for all of you sitting in the passenger seat. And apologies if it gets a little uncomfortable. But how does it feel to be at the mercy of someone who thinks a random text is more important than your life? Someone who takes their eyes off the road while speeding along in a 3-ton hunk of steel. Freaky, right? Well, why not just ask them to stop? Or better yet, volunteer to text for them. It might be a little awkward, but believe me, you'll live.
Learn more at stoptextstoprex.org. Brought to you by the Ad Council and the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration.
Broadcasting from a crummy little studio in Baltimore, Maryland.
This is Reality One Radio.
You see why we need your donations?
Welcome back to the show, ladies and gentlemen. It's the Joel Michalec Show featuring the Lovely Sharen, and this is the final stretch or the third part or, any different way that you may want to call it, but it is the last segment. And during this segment, we do a couple of things. We do Wombat of the Week, and if you're new to the show, as I say this every week, if you're new to the show, I'll tell you how to participate in that. Also, Honor Thy Heroes, where we honor everyday heroes, and if time permits, one last thing. So that's usually the lineup for this segment. I don't know, maybe Sharon and I will change it up next year. Who knows? But anyway, thanks for staying with the program. And just a quick reminder that the Christmas show will air starting next week. We think the first airing will be Monday the 23rd. So as we finish up duties for that show, there will be no regular drop on Sunday the 22nd. Some stations may air a different episode. So we will keep you informed of that. But let's talk about the Wombat of the Week. Now, Wombat of the Week, I know if you know what a wombat is, you're probably thinking, oh, it's a nice, cute, furry creature. But in our case, it's stupid people doing stupid things, and they make it into the headlines. So that is our Wombat of the Week. And if you want to participate in that, you can very easily, if you find a news article of someone stupid doing something stupid, you can send it to us at wombat@joelmichalec.com or joelmichalecradio@gmail.com. Now, you can also send us a PM on Facebook at JM Talk and send it that way as well. I think that's where we get most of our submissions, is they just message us there. So that's how you do it. That's how you get involved. And now let's talk about our Wombat this week. So this is a real idiot. This comes out of Charlotte, North Carolina, and this is about a bank employee who allegedly stole $88,000 from the bank where he works, and he was right out of the vault, actually, and arrested after posting photos of him and the cash on social media. So here we go. Here's the story. A bank employee in Charlotte, North Carolina, allegedly stole $88,000 from the bank vault, according to a release from the United States Attorney's Office. And he was bashful about advertising. He was not bashful about advertising to his social media followers the life of luxury he was funding. The release said a criminal indictment was unsealed this week in federal court following the arrest of Orlando Henderson, age 29, by the FBI in San Diego. The unsealed indictment alleges Henderson stole cash out of the vault in separate allotments on at least 18 different occasions during the course of the year. Throughout July and August 2019, Henderson used a social media account to post several pictures of him holding large stacks of cash. He then allegedly committed loan fraud in connection with the purchase of a luxury automobile. Henderson's numerous Facebook and Instagram photos depict him posting with stacks of cash, and, according to the U.S. Attorney's Office, says he used the money to make a $20,000 down payment on a new Mercedes-Benz. He allegedly also falsified bank documents to obtain a car loan from another financial institution to cover the remaining balance of the vehicle. Henderson's Facebook and Instagram posts from September show him posing with a white Mercedes-Benz in Hollywood, California, and he was arrested about 3 months later on December 4th. So, believe it or not, sources have been trying to get comment from his public defender, and calls are not being returned. According to details from the indictment contained in the release, Henderson allegedly took bank customers' cash deposits out of the bank vault for months. Many of those times he deposited money into an ATM near the bank where he worked, and he writes in a Facebook post, "I make it look easy, but this shit," with a Y, really a process. Part of a string of posts in which he talked about building his brand. This particular post showing him holding a stack of money while smoking a cigarette. He faces charges of 2 counts of financial institution fraud, 19 counts of theft, embezzlement, and misapplication, along with 12 counts of making false entries, which carry a maximum penalty of 30 years in prison and a $1 million fine per count. So he's also charged with transactional money laundering, which carries a penalty of 10 years behind bars and a $250,000 fine. He appeared in U.S. District Court in Southern California earlier this month, according to the release, which is a case set to be tried in North Carolina by the U.S. Attorney's Office. And folks, listen, first of all, I'm here to tell you, don't steal. Don't rob your job. Don't rob banks. Don't steal, period. But if you find yourself in the position of stealing from your job, I think the last thing you should do is promote it as a brand on social media. Stupidity. I mean, this is stupidity 101. And because he's an idiot and a jackass and a wombat, this guy here, Orlando Henderson, wears the crown of Wombat of the Week here on the show this week. So keep sending those stories in. We appreciate it. Again, easiest, fastest way. Look, everybody's on Facebook, right, for the moment. At JM Talk at Facebook. Send it to us, or over there at Gmail, Joel Michalec Radio at gmail.com. So moving on to what we do here each week is we honor heroes, everyday heroes, and, you know, in the same form and fashion, you know, you can send in your posts of everyday heroes. Anybody going above and beyond doing this extraordinary things. They don't have to wear a badge. They don't have to be a doctor. They don't have to, you know, they can be anybody. There's all kinds of everyday heroes. And if you have a story out of your local paper or whatnot, we'd love to have it. You can send it to us at joelmichalecradio@gmail.com. And so this week, a bit of an interesting twist on this week. Let me just check my time because I should. That's why. So on the Honor Thy Hero segment this week, what I want to talk about is we have this problem with a war on law enforcement. And we're coming into the close of the year. And, you know, in 2019, okay, so I'm not sure, let's see, we're about 50 weeks into the year? 46 officer deaths. Now, 118 total line of duty deaths, okay? But the big number I wanted to talk about is the 46 police officers who were killed in the line of duty by gunfire. And some of these are just out-and-out assassinations. When you read last weekend, for example, I think there were like 4 police officers who were brutally murdered. You know, in not all in one. It was 4 different localities, but you know, there's a serious issue. I've also in the recent weeks broken ties with an organization on social media that I had not realized, that you wouldn't think by the name of the organization, and I don't know why it took me so long to find out, but they're apparently very much against law enforcement, and I didn't even realize that. So I had to break ties with them very quickly. I don't understand how somebody can be against law enforcement. I mean, the thin line, they call it the thin blue line, and there's a reason. That thin line is the thin line between anarchy and mass hysteria and, you know, the law and order that we do have. And, you know, it has become more lawless, you know, in recent years. And this has become just a sad number to look at each year. And some of the groups that we are linked up to in social media, it's almost difficult to read the timelines because of how often you hear of police officers being killed in the line of duty. And so right now at 50 weeks, we have 118 line of duty deaths, 46 to gunfire, and 2 weeks left to go. And so I just thought this became like headlines this week. Like there should always be positive headlines about the police. I know there's a couple of bad apples. I call them to the carpet just as much as I honor the good ones. So we know there's a few bad apples. But why do we wait until we have an almost weekly line of duty shooting of a police officer, almost one per week, before the news outlets look at it and report on it? There has to be more done. And so I just thought that it would be prudent this week to just, honor law enforcement in general. And of course, honoring all of the fallen heroes during the course of 2019. And of course, we'll put up a webpage that is actually, excuse me, it's actually, it's like an honor roll of heroes of police officers, law enforcement officers that, died in the line of duty. And it's an absolute wonderful webpage. It's a beautiful wall of honor, and we'll share that with you so you can take a look at the statistics. And you can look at other years, too, on that page. But, just generally speaking, I know we've honored police, quite a few times in our Honor Thy Heroes segment. And I think even once this year we even sort of thanked them as a whole. And I think just recognizing them this week on Honor Thy Heroes for everything they do for us. And I think I don't know what we have to do in society to get people to look past their hate and their own whatever and have a little more respect. Respect, that's a big word that has disappeared. And somebody said, I know what it was. I was actually, I was making a pierogi run this past week. And I had taken, my son-in-law with me, and we were in a store, and we were talking about something coming back. Can't remember what it was. Was it cassette tapes? Oh, I can't remember, but something was coming back, or it was like a retro thing. And I said, I'll be really, if the old things are coming back, I will be very glad when respect comes back and makes a comeback. But anyway, so I wanted to just take that moment, coming into the close of the year, honor these heroes, fallen and otherwise, the people that are out there every day, the people in law enforcement and EMS, dispatchers, the people that will not be enjoying their, holiday meals and their time with their family on Christmas Eve, Christmas Day because of work schedules. They'll be out there protecting you to the best of their ability. And I say that because the best of their ability doesn't sometimes match up to the stupidity of others. And that's in every aspect of, in every letter to the law, even people who drive erratically. I mean, another function of police officers is to regulate traffic law. And again, they do it to the best of their ability. I get that, even though sometimes I'm screaming. When I pass somebody who's driving like an idiot, I'm like, where's the cops? So I'm that guy, right? I scream for it, but at the same time, again, that's another thing where they are outmatched by the stupidity of others, the just massive people who do not drive properly, who refuse to drive properly, quite frankly, or whatever. So for all that, the entire community of law enforcement stands as our heroes this week on Honor Thy Heroes. So thank you very much. And remember, you can send those stories in too if you have heroes that you want us to honor. We'll be glad to do it. So there you go. Now, I wanted to, on one last thing, this almost became a hero. We talked about it. But I want to talk about this company that did an amazing thing for their employees. It's a real estate company, a real estate developer. They do commercial real estate and things like that. I'm very familiar with this line of business, by the way. So anyway, this company headquartered in Maryland. Okay, they had and they're called St. John Properties. You might have heard this week on the news. It's going very quickly through the news. Well, they had their Christmas party, and they did a nice thing for their employees. Makes them really stand above. Like every couple years you hear a story like this. Well, in a statement that they released Monday, St. John Properties said that the average employee working for them, 198 employees, will receive $50,000 on average bonus. The bonus will vary based solely on years of service. This bonus, by the way, I found out after more research. This bonus was above and beyond the regular Christmas bonuses. So if you got a Christmas bonus for performance, this was above and beyond. They had a really banner year. They had built a great portfolio, and they did this great thing. They said, "You are responsible for what we have." And they when they did their speech at the holiday party, they said, "Without you, we don't achieve this level of greatness that we're at." And so here's a company that recognizes that, And so aside from your Christmas bonuses, aside from all of that, your Christmas party, your perks, all that, they set aside $10 million from their profit line. And then they calculated the amount of years that each of the 198 employees were with the company, and they divvied that $10 million out. There were bonuses paid out of $250,000. As high as $250,000, and so they had a video. They made a video at the party, and they put it out for the news media to have, and it was showing the reactions of these people, and genuine reactions to a genuine celebration of their employees. So they said the bonus was given to celebrate reaching their goal of developing 20 million square feet of office, retail, and other commercial real estate in 8 states. And so the company's founder and chairman, Edward St. John, said in a statement, "To celebrate the achievement of our goal, we wanted to reward our employees in a big way that would make a significant impact on their lives." Well, you did, because further reading about this and some statements from some of the employees, you're talking about you've given the gift of employees paying off mortgages, setting up college funds for their children. I mean, you get a bonus each year and you go, "Oh, great, we'll have a decent Christmas. We'll pay a couple bills. We'll fill the house back up with food." This was far above and beyond, and I think the only reason it didn't make it a hero is because it's very personable. It's great, but it's very personable. But it did stand out as one last thing to talk about. So they made this announcement during the company's annual holiday party on the 7th of December. And they made this life change. It's a life-changing decision for not even a lot of the employees. When the average employee, was it average or was it minimum? What was it? The average employee is receiving a bonus above and beyond the holiday bonus of $50,000. That's life-changing for everybody. Everybody. So I think I read somewhere that the smallest bonus amount was $25,000. So again, that is everybody. And that's one last thing. So remember the Christmas show, Christmas with Joel and Sharen airs starting next weekend. Pay attention to the website and social media, jmtalk.net, and also Facebook at JMTalk, and Instagram and Twitter at JMTalk Radio for details on where and when you can listen to that show. And I'll say Merry Christmas, and we'll say Merry Christmas again if you get to listen to the show. Remember, it will not be aired as a podcast. You'll have to listen to it on a partner network. So until then and until next time, have yourself a great week, everybody. Merry Christmas, and we'll catch you next time.